Dan actually talks about this. I saw Instagram posts from
That's
him, all
that's
his
the
Ferraris and
goal.
all this
That's the
stuff.
goal for
Yeah.
this podcast is to get Dan Martell on here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But he was saying like a lot of individual
yeah,
owners, they get
yeah,
stuck at like 300-400 grand. They aren't conscious of what their weaknesses are or whatever, as you are. But then once you get another operator in there that balances that strength or weakness, sorry, you can get up to the 2 mil. And then he says, okay, to get past the two, to get to the 10, now you got to get people in the company that are kind of like mini operators that are self sufficient. But I think that's an important point with a lot of brokers. Like a lot of them refuse to team up and just kind of say I can do it all, and they do the docs and they do everything. They don't even hire assistants and all of that. Like you should know where your strengths and weaknesses are and fill those for sure.
To your point, I've seen a lot of brokers who they get an idea for a SaaS
yeah,
company, and then
exactly.
they throw
Yeah,
out a minimal viable product around it, and they throw it out, and they don't really know what they're doing, and they don't stick with it, and they're kind of in over their head, and but they're all because they're also running their book. So
yeah,
they're running their book. They're jumping from a discovery call onto a call with the developer who may or may not be in India,
Yeah.
and trying to figure out that. And then they're trying to learn the lingo here. And this, it's a completely different world, the SaaS world,
Yeah.
than B2C sales
Mhm.
over here.
mhm.
Completely different. And so there are different skill sets involved. And I can see it. I can see the train wreck coming a mile away. There's a lot of brokers who have a lot of really good ideas, but man, it's like you either get the help or you got to let something go. You can't be running your own book and your own team, and then because your other team and your book and your like if you have help over there, they also see what you're doing. People don't realize that they see what you're they see you're not focused on this, which is feeding their family. So now they see the leader of
Yeah,
the book over here that they're relying on and they're believing in you, but they start to see your focus go over here and they can sense that and see it. And now the morale of the team goes down a little bit. And then like
yeah.
yeah,
Why
it's
am I working past 5 when I know the minute the clock strikes 5, he's on a call with the developer or whatever it is.
yeah.
It's
He's got
tough,
one
and
foot out the door,
you got one foot out the
right?
door, right? And
Looking
I
for
mean,
an
I don't.
easy exit, which is not easy. And then you see Henneberry,
Yeah,
Jason, who built Lender Spotlight and came up with an idea. And then he had a really good marketing plan for it. He went and got a tech guy to build it,
yeah,
which was awesome. But then his marketing idea was, let's go get brokerages.
yeah.
Let's
The broker
let's
heads, right?
advertise it
Yeah,
for $50 a
yeah,
seat, but let's go to the broker owners and offer them to for a fraction. And let's get all their users on, all their brokers on, and the brokers think they're getting a deal.
yeah.
And the broker owner can say, "Hey, I got a deal for you," and
I'm
then he gets
providing value
users.
for you,
I'm
right?
providing
Yeah.
Yeah,
value,
yeah.
and
Which is
then
what.
he's
Yeah,
getting mass users on so he can find out where all the problems are and the kinks. Plus, he's getting brand awareness. And then eventually you can up the level of paying membership. And then he just got acquired, right?
yeah.
So
It's as easy as that for anyone listening, right? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, super easy.
yeah.
Super
No,
easy.
it's no, it's a good point. I mean, going back just quickly to that foot out the door, I think you end up doing neither well, and people sense it and all that. And sometimes the best thing too is to have those tough conversations, right? Is to say, hey, actually, you know, if people can sense it, sometimes they even appreciate that conversation of saying, hey, what, I do have some of my focus over here, but here's the plan, right? And maybe the plan is to eventually go all the way over, but hey, if I go over here, then I'm going to be looking to someone on the team right now to kind of fill in my shoes or whatever it might be. But
Yeah.
having that honest conversation and reducing that ambiguity goes so far.
I love you guys are in SaaS Academy. That's awesome. I was in it, man, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. It's right when it was at its infancy, I think.
It looks like he's grown it a lot now.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
We went down to one of his conferences in Austin maybe 4 months ago. We're attending one next
a
week. He's doing
virtual.
it virtual.
Yeah,
He's doing two in person, one virtual. But yeah, honestly, like
it's like
we went down to
400
that
people,
conference.
maybe. That's, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
at least, yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, we went down to the conference in Austin, came back with 3 ideas, implemented them, and they've paid for a year worth of the course, honestly.
Oh,
And I mean, he knows that he charges good money and people sign up. So
yeah. Oh, yeah,
we've
yeah.
loved it. Yeah,
I don't need 20 ideas. I need one or two. And we
Yeah.
signed up
yeah,
to his, after we met him, we signed up to, he had a coaching program which we did for a year after. There was so much stuff in there, and you get on a call with him once a week.
Oh, we don't have that.
So much stuff. Like, we only needed to implement a couple little things. And one of them was hiring a fractional CMO. So we went and did that. We went and sourced out a CMO. We chose Dana Derricks, who's a Dream 100 guy who's under Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. ClickFunnels, I think that's in the ecosystem too, right? The SaaS. Yeah.
That's 100% in there, and that's probably the biggest success story.
I think
on the
so.
SaaS side out of what they've done.
Totally.
But it's intriguing, man, that whole world. But it's also, I know what I don't know, and there are sharks swimming in there. So I'm like, I'm just going to stay in my world, which is the Canadian mortgage industry, which I know really well, and I'm well networked and getting better by the day. And I'm just going to keep doing my thing here. And I'm not trying to own the world here and just take little snippets here, because we tried to dabble in the States, going to the US, and it's a different beast, man.
Yeah, it is. We had the same experience. It's it's tough, right? It's just different lingo, but different culture, different everything.
Smaller margins, more competition. Tougher to get market share,
and a lot more people just throwing money at ideas, right? I think that's much more the model, where it's like, let's go out, raise $10 million and just throw it at something and burn this thing to the ground. Either in 3 years it's going to burn to the ground, or it's going to go up. And that's a model.
They get it right, it's a home run. If you get it right in Canada, it's not necessarily a home run, because the market in our industry, it's only so big, right?
Yeah.
So you're up against, a lot of awesome software ideas. In Canada, we're archaic. We're behind the times.
Sure.
So, but there's opportunity there.
Totally. Yeah.
There's opportunity to come
and
in.
You don't have to swing for the fences either, right? You can hit the doubles, right? Or hit the.
And you don't necessarily need
the small ball. No.
Here you need more contacts, because there's only so many players. In the US, there's a lot of players to get you access to platforms and networks.
And it's just a bigger market, right? Like, that's another thing. Like, the Canadian mortgage market, we don't know everyone, but it's once we got in here, we realized it's not as big as we thought, right? Like, from the outside looking in, it was this big scary thing, and now we're kind of in, and it's like, whoa, hey, you know what? We know this person who knows this person. Hey, this is a smaller world than we thought, right?
Easier to network.
Yeah, totally.
Quicker if you do it right, but also the flip side, easier to burn a lot of bridges if you screw up.